This is round two. I did not know that there were so many things that I was taking for granted when I studied abroad. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, and I am the-real-nicole, and I'm here with a video that I was planning to get to for the longest time, and I never got to it, but now I'm getting to it. So we are going to be talking about the 9 things that you should do before studying abroad. It doesn't matter where you're going, you should be doing these 9 things, okay? Some of you all might already know, but in the fall of 2019, I studied abroad in South Korea, and I did a lot of, note-taking in terms of my process and everything like that. So I got some things that I remembered, and I'm gonna share them with you. So we're gonna get on to it. Number 1 thing that you should do before studying abroad is to plan. If you aren't 100% sure where you want to go, think about some universities in your destination countries and just write them out. See what kind of things that they offer that might go along with your degree. If you haven't started college yet, think about what kind of degrees you want to study, and think of what kind of classes that you might want to take. Will these classes go along with what you want to do? Just plan. I am a planner. I love to be spontaneous as well, but when it comes to things like this, I like to plan ahead. Think about, okay, what do I need to do? What do I need to have? Blah, 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 blah. So when I was in high school, I was already planning out that I want to go to either South Korea, Spain, Japan, China. Like, these are some places that I feel like that I would like to go. So I looked at some universities and I was like, okay, I want to study these things. So if I were to study these things, I got to take these classes, blah, blah, blah. Like, I was one of those people who were just planning like way ahead. Like, your girl, my plan was morphing all throughout the years, but I was one of those people like, I know that I want to do this, so I'm not going to stop until I do it. And I hope that you can do that as well, where you're planning out what you think. And if your plan changes, it's okay. Just keep going with the flow. See what you want to do and just go on with it. If you know exactly where you want to go, then think about, what are the classes that I'm currently taking if you're in college? What are the classes I'm currently taking? And what classes does my destination country have in English? Or if you are fluent in whatever language, what kind of classes do they have in that language that I can probably take and it'll transfer over, Think about those things. So you can have it all prepared when you go to, study abroad office. 2 is get your money together. Get your coins together, okay? I was one of those people where I knew I need to get some money together. So I had little side jobs, along with studying in school. I worked at Dollar Tree. Wasn't my thing. I didn't stay there for too long. I could talk about that in another video. I worked on campus, so you can do that too once they have hiring for students on campus again, if they don't at your college. Also, I worked at the mall, at the food court, at a smoothie place. So I had some side jobs. You can look for some side jobs too. If you aren't comfortable with going out into the world just yet, you can find some things to do online. I'm sure there are many different opportunities where you can make some money, some side jobs. In 2020, I saw so many people starting businesses and becoming their own bosses. You can do that too. Get your money right so you can go abroad. That is something that is awesome to do. Aside from jobs, you can also look for scholarships. There are so many scholarships out there for people who would like to study abroad. It might be things that are local, so look at local scholarships. Look for organizations that might, help fund you. I know that Rotary, I was in Rotary Interact in high school, so I contacted them and I was able to get a grant where, I got to actually meet with the Rotary in South Korea and kind of be like an ambassador, but usually those are for high schoolers, but they allowed it for me because I was in Rotary Interact in high school. There are so many other opportunities that you might not necessarily know about. They have GoFundMes, so many other things that you can do. There's so much. I can make a whole video about scholarships if you would like to hear about that. Just comment down below. But don't think that you cannot afford to study abroad. There's so many people who thought that, but if you put your mind to it, you can do it. I promise you. Number 3 is to scope out the area. If you find out, okay, I'm going to be going to this university in this city, in this country, look and see what things are in that city, what things are around the university's campus that you can do. There were some places where I said I wanted to go to, but I didn't really plan it out. So I didn't really get to go to those places. But there are also some things that I said, okay, this is in Busan, so we should go here. And when I got there, I had some friends that was like, hey, it was this dope place that we should go to. We're gonna do this. And they went with me, you know? So if you find some things that you want to do in that country or in that city, most definitely, put in your notes. And when you meet your friends while you're studying abroad, say, hey, I know this great place that I always wanted to do, always wanted to try, always wanted to see. And there you go. You get to go with some people and you get to make great memories that you have planned ahead. I promise you, you won't regret just scoping out the area. There are a lot of people that I know who went to the university. They knew nothing about South Korea. They kind of just wanted to stay in their room. They didn't really want to do a lot of things. I'm just like, girl, guy, person, we in a whole nother country. You better take this time and live out your life. You know what I mean, right? So scope out the area, see what some things that you would like to do, and do it. Tip number 4 is to take videos and pictures with your loved ones, whether it be friends, family, just people or things that you feel like you're gonna miss them. Just take lots and lots of pictures and videos. I took a picture with my dad before I left for South Korea, but I didn't really record anything, and there were some things that I wish I had just gotten to do, but it's all good. But just make sure you have some things that will keep you comfort when you're homesick and when you miss your fam. Just make sure to have those things for when you're traveling abroad. Because although a lot of people like to act like it's all fun and dandy when you're studying abroad, it is lots of fun. There are days when you might miss home. You might miss your siblings. You might miss your friends and stuff like that. So just having those pictures and those videos there is great comfort for you. Tip number 5 is to pack accordingly and intentionally. I'm telling you now, there were some things that I really thought that I was gonna need, and I did not need that. I could have just bought it there. Like, there are some toiletries that you might want to buy. If you have your favorite toothpaste, pack that with you. If you have, your favorite makeup, you might not find this everywhere in Creers, or wherever you would like to go. Pack that along with you. And speaking of makeup, this video is sponsored by Bodacious Beauty Cosmetics. Bodacious Beauty Cosmetics is a cosmetic company where they would like for you to feel bold, brilliant, and beautiful, and use their products to help enhance your beautiful features. If you can see this face, I am currently using their eyeliner, their eyelashes, their eyebrow pencil, which is new, and their cream lipsticks. So go on and check them out. They have a lot more things available. I will put the link to the website, Instagram, and all that stuff down below. Go on and cop some makeup for me so you can feel bold, brilliant, and beautiful as well. I can go and make a video about what to pack and what not to pack, and we can do that for another video, but just make sure you're packing intentionally and accordingly to wherever you're going. Tip number 6 is to make sure all your documents are in order. If you're studying abroad for an extended period of time, you'll probably need a visa, which means you'll need certain things that you might need to have with you to apply for that visa, like your passport. So make sure you're applying for that passport before you need your visa, because you need that to get the visa, things like that. Make sure you have your birth certificate your ID, all those things together with you before you get that. If there's any other documents, make sure you just have them with you when you're applying for your visa, as well as when you're traveling. Keep it in your carry-on so that you can have it with you when you're in your destination country. Keeping your documents together will save you the headache in the long run. Trust me. Tip number 7 is enjoy all the big and small things of your hometown. There were a lot of things that I did not know that I would miss so much when I was studying abroad. I didn't know that every university doesn't have all these cool events and they offer free food all the time. And then I went to another university in another country and they rarely do that, except for some other like cool events that they had out. I might talk about in another video, but they don't have it like every week like some universities in the US do. They don't offer tutoring in every different country, in every country like they do in the US. Like at my university, they offer free tutoring. They don't got that in South Korea because a lot of the classes and grades are based on a curve with, you know, competing with the other classmates, right? So of course they won't have free tutoring. I didn't know that. Finance was not the funnest thing in the world. There were a lot of things that I just took for granted with, you know, my home country. I can make a video about the things that I missed, but one thing that for sure that I missed was some clean air. That pollution had got to me, very, very much so. So that was something that I missed. Or just, you know, that might be one of the big things, but just the small things of like being able to drive. I am someone who doesn't really like to drive, but I also don't like to rely on people for transportation. Therefore, I drive. So I did not like it when I was like, man, okay, now I gotta, you know, time out how I'm gonna get here, from here to there, on the subway to the bus, da-da-da. You know, when you're used to driving, you're just like, okay, I just get in my car, click, drive there. Can't do that if you don't have a car or a license for that country, right? So that was something that I was not used to, but I got used to it when I was there. But that was really something that I missed. So just take in all the big and the small things, like having your own room if you do, or just other things. Tip number 8 is to research the country you're going to be staying in. Like, research a lot, you know. I did not notice that there were so many people who just like sign up to study abroad wherever, whenever, and don't be knowing where they're going. Like, couldn't be me because I'll be scared. I'll be trying to plan out everything. As I told you, I'm a planner. So I like to do research about the country, you know, maybe the geography, the weather, stuff like that. If the weather is normally warm there, then you wouldn't need to bring your winter clothes, right? So do research on things like that. Do research on the stuff that's common and not common, what kind of things you might need, what kind of things you don't want to, you know. A lot of this stuff is talking about research that you might need to do. So this might sound a little redundant to my last, my previous tips, but just learning about the country you're going to. Do they speak English? Is it widely known there? If, you know, you're going to a specific university, look up the university and what kind of things that they might have at the university. Just research the country. Research whatever you can about it, you know? What kind of relations do they have with your home country? Just knowing about that, because if you're from a specific country, like if I'm from the US and I'm going to South Korea, what is the relationship between the US and South Korea in terms of political and social and economic type of relationship that they might have? And I'm using big words to make myself seem smart. So just research, okay? And the 9th and last tip is to learn some of the language and culture of the country that you're going to be studying abroad in. So you figure out where you want to go. You know, you're going to be going to South Korea, or you're going to Spain, or you're going to China, or you're going to Costa Rica, you're going to France, and you got to know the language. If your native language is English, and you going to France, you might want to start practicing that French, okay? If you're going to Spain, you might want to start practicing that Espanol. If you're going to Korea, you're going to want to learn that Hangul, okay? We good? All right, so you got to learn about that. Another thing is culture. What are some of the things that might not be super normal in the US that you're gonna have to do in South Korea? You're gonna have to get used to it. What are some things that you might be doing in the US that will be unacceptable in South Korea? There were some things that I made some mistakes, and it wasn't because I didn't know. Sometimes it was just that I like would forget because I'm used to culture in the US and not in South Korea. So just learning those things, trying to think about that and be more conscious of what you're doing in whatever country you're going to, so you don't stick out too much. I mean, I'm already stick out if it's a homogenous country and everybody ain't black. But, you know, we just gonna at least know that we know how to fit in terms of behavior-wise, right? So don't go there acting a fool, right? So just learn about the different things. So, for example, in Japan and South Korea, you typically do not talk on subway and public transportation. You might talk a little bit quietly in South Korea, but if it's not like when everyone's getting home from work. But in Japan, you better be quiet. Try to keep your little headphones in, maybe text your friends. If they're right next to you, just text them or something. But they don't really want you to be talking. You got to be quiet and be respectful and mindful of that. It might not be something that you're used to, but if you're in their country, you have to at least learn about the culture and try to adapt a little bit. So yes, those are the 9 things that you should be doing before studying abroad. If this video helped, like the video. If it didn't help, still like the video. Comment down below some other ideas and questions that you might have for me in terms of studying abroad or South Korea, when I visit Japan, other type of things. I can help, or at least try to. If you have any video requests, comment that down below too. Don't forget to like the video, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, and talk to you later. Bye.